Welcome all to the Amir Shakur Speaks Morning Show with your host, Amir King 7 Shakur. That'll be me. And July 15th, we're knocking them on down. And wow, month's going by quick. We're already mid-month. And you know what? Hey, what is it? Time is flying on by. Yep, today we're opening up on a good note and just another positive note as much as possible. A lot going on in the news cycle. So if you're just joining us for the first time, I'd like to welcome you to the Amir Shakur Speaks ASN News Morning Show. We're sponsored by the Chicago Urban Daily and America World News. There we are. So today we're going to get to the headlines, but before we put the issues in headlines, let's discuss just a few things. And I want to welcome you again. If you want to follow us, like, subscribe, and share, you can follow us on YouTube on the Amir Shakur Speaks broadcast channel, or you can follow us on Amir Shakur Speaks on Facebook. We're broadcasting live every morning from 8 o'clock to 8:30 Central Standard Time. And then we'll have the replay on the YouTube at 10 o'clock a.m. Central Standard Time. All right. So either way, you can like, subscribe, and share, subscribe, and like, do all of that good stuff. All right. By the way, if you're interested in doing what we do, before we get into the news cycle, Community Reporters Training Program is called FIRE, Freedom International Reporters Enterprise and Alliance. Learn, report, empower, and train to be a reporter. And you can do what we do, and train to be a reporter, community reporter, that is. And be a part of the news cycle. Let your voice stand up and speak out. Your voice matters. If you guys know me, that's how I speak. So, it's a topic of faith and motivation. And, I'm here to introduce a new level of, working within the community. Protesting is one way, but, being a part, reporting the news, keeping everybody informed. That's what we do on a day in and day out basis, and you can do that. All right. If you're interested, send us an email to the Amir Shakur Speaks broadcast channel at gmail.com. You'll see it in the banner below, or you can just, look on the Facebook page at the FIRE. That's the Freedom International Reporters and Enterprise Alliance. All right. So with that being said, let's get into the news cycle. Fresh news while you were asleep. All right. We'll start off with this segment is our monthly segment, or bi-monthly segment, I should say. The biggest loser of the week. And this time we're doubling down on the biggest loser of the week. And, this one, and it also doubles as a picture can tell 1,000 words. So we got two segments combined, and just want to share that with you. So the picture can tell 1,000 words, and the biggest loser would be one and the same person. So, and that is none other than this person here, Mitch McConnell, Senator Mitch McConnell. And why is Senator Mitch McConnell, he's the biggest loser of the week? Well, maybe some people say we're being hard on him, but Mr. Mitch McConnell is showing, this picture's been circulating the past few days about Senator Mitch McConnell, and some people are saying that it's a deep fake. This viral online rumors are going around about Senator Mitch McConnell, and there's two different photos. One of them is a confirmed AI deepfake. The other, which you're seeing in front of you, is specialists are saying that it's real. The verdict is that this one is they're saying that it's real, and it definitely does not have the digital signature of a deepfake, but the separate official photo released by McConnell's office is showing him smiling in a hospital setting while holding a copy of the Sunday edition of the Washington Post. And the verdict is it's an authentic AI creation, right? And with that in mind, digital forensics and AI experts analyzed the photo and found no credible indicators of artificial intelligence or face swiping. It's interesting, but what I'm going to suggest is I'm going to suggest that, possibly could be AI, there's another photo that's been circulating around, and let me show you how AI works, guys. Let me give you a first class lesson in AI. So you see that? Wow. See, you guys didn't know I had a friend, and my good homeboy, Mr. Mitch McConnell. Hey, we go back on many, many, many moons. So anyway, there you go. There you go. Handsome young man right there with, right there in the hospital with, I'm worried about my buddy Mitch McConnell. Are you real? Are you not real? Are you a wax figure? Come on, you got to tell some people, Mitch, what's going on, man. Hey, the verdict is that this one might be fake. Who knows? But for Mitch, we're still gonna say that you are. You're leaving a lot of people with a lot of questions, and you would see, these types of pictures running around the internet, Mr. McConnell. If you would just leave us, leave us the correct information. Go online, do a press conference. Just. Let people know that you're A-OK, all right? When I was checking in on you, you seem to be fine, but hey. Anyway, that's about and I'm gonna give you another one of these. You are the biggest loser of the week, because hey, people, you do have a constituency, Senator. And people are, they want to know. They need the information. They want to know if you're okay. All right. All right. With that being said, we'll move on from there. And if you have a picture you want to show me, you want to send it. It's bar mitzvah, graduation, family reunion, birthday, anything like that. Send it to Amir Shakur Speaks. A picture can tell 1,000 words. And, I'll celebrate you. I will definitely celebrate you. All right. All right. So we are moving forward, right? We're moving forward with the news you can use, fresh news while you were asleep. And this morning, there's a global conflict going on as the U.S.-Iranian conflict deepens in the Middle East, and it's intensified over a fourth consecutive day, which is today, with airstrikes over Iran, strikes and counterstrikes over the course of the past few days. As I said, U.S. Central Command, which is CENTCOM, is carrying out another round of strikes targeting Iranian military barracks and defense systems. Iran reinstated the drone and missile strikes directed at regional targets in Jordan, Bahrain, and Kuwait, prompting air defense interceptions. And this is a toll policy. So Mr. Trump himself is, he's in a little bit of trouble, and the short-lived proposal that was going to be the ceasefire is dead in the water. And we're going to give Mr. Trump and his effort what it deserves, guys. This right here. Shame. Hey, Mr. Trump, you know what? I do believe that, that we got to keep hope alive, but you're not giving us any level of hope. And, this is an unnecessary escalation. So again, as we've called for cooler heads to prevail in this continued policy reversal cluster that your administration has single-handedly caused the American people is not cool. It's not copacetic, and the officially scrapped short-lived ceasefire proposal is causing the international community angst. The Strait of Hormuz is closed again, and global allies have agreed to this blockade is really causing a lot of friction on the international stage. I have a clip that I want to show you from CNN. All right, thank you, CNN. And we'll get into that CNN clip. And it's going to tell about, this unconventional escalation and what's going on. So here we go.
This latest round, if you will, is a military skirmish. Senators, though, Admiral, are now debating if this has reached forever war status. Can you give me your sense of where are we?
We are closer to forever war than we are to a ceasefire. And I take no joy in saying that. I have felt for a long time, ultimately, the two parties here would get to a negotiated conclusion. But certainly the ceasefire is frayed, if not completely off the charts. And Kate, you pointed out the most important thing the administration is doing is this 1,000-mile blockade of the Iranian coast. That's about California, Oregon kind of length, a lot of ports, very expensive to do that. But if anything is going to get the attention of the Iranians, it'll be closing down those red ports that you're showing right there. But final thought here, that takes time. You can't just open and close that gate overnight. So unfortunately, we're probably in for a period of turbulence here.
That's exactly what I was going to ask, which is when they say the blockade on Iranian ports goes into effect at 4 p.m. Eastern, what does that mean for the U.S. Navy? What do people need to understand? As you said, it's not a switch that you flip on and off.
The U.S. Navy will send a couple of destroyers up and around each of the major concentrations of port. And here you've got commanding officers. They're 36, 37, 38 years old. They've got 350 sailors on this destroyer. And their job is to interdict any major ship that attempts to come in and out of that port. It's very risky business, and it can lead to further incidents, further acts of violence going both ways. So think dozens of ships to do this. You've got to put aircraft overhead. You need hundreds of aircraft in order to provide air cover to all of them. Drones possibly coming at them from the air and on the sea. You get the picture, Kate. It's a big operation. It's complicated, and the effects are kind of slow moving, frankly.
Leighton, we've heard a lot about drones being used in the Iran war, and for the first time, CENTCOM says that the U.S. used a sea drone in combat. Tell us about the significance of that.
Yeah, that's really significant, Pamela. One of the key things here is when you look at the actual explosions that are a part of this, this was a dry dock that the Iranians used, and you can see the sea drone moving forward into the dry dock area. And dry docks are used for maintenance for ships, and here you can see the color view from the sea drone perspective. That looks like a mini submarine that was in dry dock there. And blowing that up is, of course, a very significant thing. It allows us to get in there using these sea drones without risking personnel. It allows us to get in there, without really putting in danger not only the forces that would have to take over this particular area, but also air crews potentially who could be used in an attack like this. So this is a major achievement from the Navy's perspective, and it kind of mimics what's going on in the Ukraine war. Because the Ukrainians have been able to use sea drones to great effect against the Black Sea Fleet. They've basically eliminated the Russian Black Sea Fleet, and they're now going after commercial vessels in the Black Sea. Here, what we're doing is we're going after those small boats and those submarines that even mini submersibles that the Iranians have, and that, of course, is a very significant thing.
Yeah, it was interesting because I was just overseas on the USS Abraham Lincoln, and the military officials I spoke to said they learned a lot from Russia's war on Ukraine in terms of drone warfare and how much it has changed modern warfare.
Okay, so we'll stop right there. And if you're just joining us, the clip from CNN, the clip is really in reference to what's going on with counterstrikes over the Iran escalation as it's deepening. And as we're seeing these counterstrikes and the conflict in the Middle East, it's intensified for a fourth consecutive day, 1, 2, 3, 4, and the airstrikes over Iran and counterstrikes, including drone and missile strikes. And, we're seeing that level of warfare. It's deepening. So, what it is it's a total policy reversal. from the Trump administration and President Trump himself, which scraps the short-lived proposal of a ceasefire, which probably lasted 2 to 3 days. So, currently what's in place is a U.S. naval blockade of Iran, and, Washington and cabinet confirmations are going forward. And, these are the topics of conversation. So we'll keep you abreast upon the developments and what's going on from there. As we're moving on, I did mention cabinet conversations. So this guy right here, some people know who he is, but if you don't, this is the Attorney General, interim, we should say, President Trump's nomination for interim Attorney General, who faces a highly contentious Senate confirmation hearing today. Lawmakers are expected to focus heavily on his plans for the Department of Justice, including the potential purging of career prosecutors and sensitive federal files. And, most folks know him as a crony. It's definitely questionable whether this confirmation will be passed. And, there are ongoing, concurrent, right now as we speak, issues with one particular federal judge who's laying down the gauntlet on this particular confirmation in the Trump administration and the current DOJ's efforts. So I got a clip on that. I want to bring that clip up and share that with you guys. So while I'm waiting, if you haven't liked, subscribe and share, subscribe and like, and we'll go ahead and bring that clip forward. The Trump administration, just as a backdrop, has been in the midst of a lot of controversy, So if Mr. Blanche is confirmed, he's expected to, weaponize, as he's already done, the Department of Justice, which should be a non-biased, neutral agency for the most part. And under former presidents, that's what it's been consistently. Well, we don't see the same effort. We don't see the same ethic from this administration, but, we will see. We'll see. So let's go ahead and pull up the report, and PBS has the clip. Thank you.
Blanche returns before the Senate Judiciary Committee seeking confirmation to serve permanently as the nation's top law enforcement official. It's his second confirmation hearing for a senior Justice Department role, but the first since overseeing a series of controversial decisions, including high-profile investigations and indictments, as well as the Justice Department's handling of the Epstein files. Our Justice correspondent, Ali Rogan, looks at Blanche's unlikely rise to the department's top job.
The president's former lawyer.
I have stood next to and defended President Trump as partisan prosecutors and politicians abused our legal system.
Now nominated to be the people's lawyer full-time after 3 months as acting attorney general. His path to get here, improbable. Growing up in a blue-collar Denver suburb, taking night classes at Brooklyn Law School while working as a paralegal. At one time, a registered Democrat who worked in the Southern District of New York's Violent Crimes Division for 8 years.
He was a great teammate, trial partner.
Mimi Rocha was his colleague there.
He was a tenacious investigator. He liked to build cases, particularly cases involving drugs and guns and international narcotics and gangs and things like that.
He then moved to private practice, representing Trump's former campaign chairman, Paul Manafort, in a mortgage fraud case. Then, following a call from Trump himself, Blanche left his white-collar firm to join Trump's defense in the first ever criminal trial of a former U.S. president. Financial Times reporter Joe Miller says at the time, Blanche was not politically motivated.
Todd Blanche wasn't just a Democrat. He was quite a committed Democrat. In fact, his children like to remind him that on the day that Hillary Clinton lost, Todd Blanche even shed a tear. But he also knew that many of his friends in the white-collar bar had refused to work for Donald Trump, and that Donald Trump was running out of options, so to speak.
Trump was found guilty on all 34 felony counts of falsifying business records stemming from hush money payments to adult film star Stormy Daniels. Blanche led Team Trump's outcry and later appealed the convictions.
I very much believe that the jury should have found President Trump not guilty.
He also represented Trump in the federal classified documents and election obstruction cases, both of which were ultimately dismissed.
Blanche started to take on more of the Trump mannerisms, going on long rants within the court, sometimes interrupting the judge, pushing in his briefs the boundaries of legal discourse.
Days after the president's 2024 election win, he announced Blanche's nomination as Deputy Attorney General.
How has he evolved, in your estimation, since joining President Trump's defense team?
I wouldn't say it's so much an evolution as what seems to be a transformation. What we were taught to value in the Southern District of New York was to do the right thing, to seek justice, to serve the public, not any particular person or president.
Blanche
All right, so if you're just joining us, the confirmation of Todd Blanche for Attorney General, who currently is serving as the interim Attorney General, is ongoing. We'll keep you abreast on the news, like it said. The clip, it's controversial to say the least. So we'll keep you abreast. Before we go into the editorial, please look out for Mental Jiu-Jitsu, which is my new book. Will be released on October 7th. The Art of Psychological Leverage and Strategic Redirection. So, if you want to defeat them psychologically before they try you, before they put you through controversy, I think it's warranted that you check it out, give it a try. It will be available. Pre-sales go a week before October 7th. So, you'll be able to pick it up everywhere online as an ebook and an official hard copy. So there it is, Mental Jiu-Jitsu. You could become a mental jiu-jitsu expert, maybe even get you a mental jiu-jitsu black belt. So anyway, look out for that. Tonight, I will be speaking on an editorial about the ongoing conflict in Harvey, Illinois, south suburb, 25 minutes outside of Chicago, and our fight on the ground. It's definitely changing in that dynamic. So if you're in the Southland of Chicago, the community very well. And, it's been controversial to say the least. So we'll discuss things from our standpoint. And I will shed light on some recent developments, including multi-million dollar, $10 million lawsuit against the city, which, we're waging. And, definitely looking for a change out there in the Southland and, south suburbs of Chicago, good old Harvey, Illinois. So we'll be talking about that a little bit more, and definitely this evening. And let's get to the editorial. So the final thought of the day before we go is, I want you to clip this. Let's take a step back and spend a lot of time, that we spend during this episode, but spend a lot of time rethinking our process, right? On the surface, it's easy to look at the headlines as just another headline, just another debate, just another endless issue on the endless to-do list, right? But before we close, we got to look closer. There's a real story that isn't the chaos of the moment. It's how we choose to navigate it. We tend to wait for the perfect conditions to move to the next issue, but we may not have the perfect situation, to launch that project or to have a tough conversation or to start a life-changing initiative. But if history in today's show tells us anything, it's that the perfect is a myth. It's designed to keep us in the park section, right? We're not moving out of that parking lane. The noise isn't gonna go away. The trick isn't finding a quiet world. It's finding your own quiet focus in the middle of it all, right? So as you step back into your week, your day, your world, your community, don't worry about clearing the board. Just make your next move. I, Amir Shakur, or Amir Shakur Speaks, want to thank you, right? I want to thank you for spending some of your valuable time with us, but keep the questions going. Keep looking for the nuance. And, we have to keep focused with determination, forward motion, wheels spinning forward. That's what's going to help change your dynamic. It's going to help change our dynamic. Listen, if you're moving forward in forward motion, then that means that, the people around you see it. And, that's one less person in the community. That's one person who is moving forward and one less person who's not. Hopefully that makes sense. So be the change that you want to be, and that's all I have to say. I'm hard at work creating a news broadcast, a news agency, and that's what I do, and I am the sharpest mind in the morning, and that's what they call me. I didn't call myself that. Someone else made it up. I didn't do it myself. Anyway, so by the way, we'll see you in the morning for the Amir Shakur Speaks Morning Show. I appreciate you. That's my time. Thank you, VIPs. I see you there, Miss Ramona and everybody else. There has been a lot of chaos in Harvey, and it's coming to an end. All things will come to an end. Appreciate you guys, and thanks for tuning in. And catch the replay on the YouTube channel. If you haven't, go over there and like it. That's the Amir Shakur Speaks broadcast channel, and I'm out of here. Peace.